But I want to get to this, and we'll have some clarity here in the next 56 minutes, or maybe it comes out after the hour, if the Giants are going to re-sign Saquon Barkley to a long-term deal. And I've heard this often. Okay, I've heard it from a lot of people. Oh boy, Giants got to re-sign. They're in a bad spot here. They really got to re-sign Saquon Barkley because otherwise he's in the franchise tag and he won't be happy. Okay. So help me out, guys. Do we think if a guy is not happy as a running back, then he's not going to perform well in what could be a free agent year? Like you're playing for a long second contract. So do we think that because he's going to make like $10 million a year, he wouldn't play hard? I don't understand that logic. Do you want everybody playing as hard as they can? Sure. And I would understand, like, if your season goes bad and you're not playing for anything but then he's still getting for his yards. One, not necessarily for his bonuses because it's all flat, but two, for next year. And help me out. What would cause me to not want Saquon Barkley to run angry? And I do understand that guys in the locker room and your energy's better and he's a leader. He's got a great smile and he came back from his injury and yeah, all that's great. So you got to overpay him because you're worried about he might be upset. That one I don't get. The other part that I don't get, and this is again just a reality to how it works. Okay. Saquon Barkley was drafted 4th in the NFL draft. So his career earnings to date, because he's gone through, 4 years of playing in the National Football League, he got every bit of that first contract. Every penny. All right, that's $38.6 million. This year, it's almost flat 10. So if we say, well, did he play above the level of his contract? Well, he missed a year. And remember, when you sign that rookie deal, you get $20 million up front. But here's the bigger thing. Why do the Giants have to sign him long term? If he goes through a season on a franchise tag, then they can franchise tag him again or negotiate a long-term contract extension. He's not a free agent. We do understand that, right? In the traditional sense, he's not a free agent. So $10 million is maybe a little bit below his level. And then next year it would be probably in the 11 and change. But it's not that far off. And it's a great deal for the Giants. How do we get to this place where it seems like every broadcaster, not named me, wants the best possible scenario only for the player? And then you get they overpaid Daniel Jones. Okay. Why do they overpay Daniel Jones? We went through this last week. Do you know how hard it is to find a good starting quarterback? If you didn't sign Daniel Jones, then what were your options? I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr for way more, for more years, similar money. It's the reason that you're more valuable as a quarterback than you are a running back is it's harder to replace you. Where if Saquon Barkley goes down, don't get me wrong, there's a sizable void. He is a tremendous football player. He is a 3-down back. But if you lose Saquon Barkley, there are other running backs on the street you can go and fill in an ensemble cast. There aren't other quarterbacks out there. They just don't exist. So I know that for the next hour, you're going to be hit with, if you change around the dial or you listen to shows really like, well, the Giants, boy, they're up against it. They really got it. No, they're not. They got a good running back under contract for just over $10 million. That fits into their budget. The reason it's different of being a franchise tag quarterback is the average salaries of the quarterbacks is in the 40s. Here, the average salary is $10 million. It's a lot easier to take. It doesn't mean that the Giants won't sign him to a long-term deal between now and the top of the hour. It doesn't mean that. It just means that Saquon doesn't have nearly the leverage that so many of you are led to believe, because people in my position don't show you that the Giants, they're fine. You don't want to play? Fine. You want to play? Fine. Here's the number. And if you play well, we can do this again next year. We can sign you long-term next year. Or we could, you could sign elsewhere next year if we allowed you as a free agent, or if we franchise tag you, we could then trade you. This show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. And you're allowed to say, hey, I don't think Daniel Jones is as good as how much money he makes. You're allowed to. I would probably agree with you. The problem with the quarterback thing is you got a guy who's got 4 years under his belt, and you rolled the dice, didn't sign him to a fifth-year option. He ends up having a good year. You got a guy with 4 years already under your control. You're good. It's essentially 6 years of a quarterback, and it's really hard to find replaceable guys on the street.